When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the frickin' lions. My Dios mio, like, are you kidding me? Still haven't gotten over it. And of course, since we're Vikings fans, since we're snarky, since we thrive in gallows humor, we decide to rank the most embarrassing losses in franchise history. Now, this is not the ranking. This is merely in chronological order. And there's a lot of other games that you could toss on here. You could toss in the Antonio Freeman Monday Night Football. He did what? Catch? Hey, Chris Dishman, stop celebrating, man. Or the Michael Vick walk-off for whatever, but we walk on, because we got nothing else to do. That's right. So we're going to rank these mofos, but first we're going to walk through. Of course, yesterday, losing to the low-energy Lions, winless, where, like we said all year, we respect Dan Campbell, we respect Brad Holmes, we respect the Lions because they fought hard every single game, but they didn't play out of their gourds. Like, frankly, yesterday wasn't even their best game of the season. The Vikings just gave it away. The Vikings simply did not show up. That's why it's embarrassing. 38-7, of course, 2017. So here's something that I do too, because we like consistency in dating, where if you're talking about a title game or a Super Bowl of a season, even though you state the season where the season started as opposed to the actual date of the game. So the 2017 NFC title game, even though it took place January 2018, is still, we're going to refer to as the 2017 NFC title game. That doesn't make sense, but I don't really care. But 2017 season, Case Keenum, Magic Carpet Ride, Miracle, and all that stuff. And then you go out to Philly and you just, home Super Bowl is on the line. Justin Timberlake's going to make a tribute to Prince while you're playing, while you're beating the Patriots' ass, and then just thwack. And plus, the Vikings scored first. Remember, the Vikings drove down, Case Keenum, touchdown to Kyle Rudolph. We're like, oh, here we go. And then 38 unanswered. It's just amazing. Simply. Oh, also, there's a moment of insane irony in that game too, because the Vikings were down 14-7 and they were marching. I think they were in the Philly red zone, and then Case Keenum was strip sacked by Derek Barnett, who the Eagles drafted with the draft pick that the Vikings sent to Philly for Sam Bradford in 2016. So just getting crushed by 5,000 pounds of iron, because the Vikings were still at This video is going to take half an hour. Shank at the bank. Yes. 2003. Now, I briefly forgot about this one. Maybe it's because I blacked it out. But 2003 Vikings win, beat the 3-12 Cardinals, and you're in the playoffs. But Josh McCown, no! Nathan Poole, no! And the worst part about it is the Packers got in the playoffs. That's rough. That's rough, man. And of course, 41 donut. The 2000 seasons NFC title game, and just not showing, where I forgot about this before I looked at the box score. Oh, by the way, I knew that because how old was I? It was like 13, something like that. I knew that this game was in trouble because, 13 years old, you're finally starting to like recognize stuff about the game. Once their fullback, the Giants fullback, Greg Camella, scored, I think it was on a wheel route. It was like, oh, it's over. If their fullback is scoring TDs on us, it's done. But I forgot about this until I checked the box score. They were up 41-0 with 37 minutes left. It was 34-0 at halftime. They scored 3 minutes into the third quarter. So John Fossil, he called off the dogs. Or Jim Fossil. Is it John? Either way. No, Jim Fossil. John Fossil's the son. Because they call him Bones. John Bones Fossil. Get it? But it could have been a lot worse. It could have been. Plus, I remember the Meadowlands turf was frozen, so that they were trying to wear baseball cleats, and they were slipping, sliding all over the place. It wasn't good. But it was basically, who wants to get their ass kicked by the Ravens in the Super Bowl? I don't know. 2009 NFC title game. That one, again, this is going to be a ranking of embarrassment, not heartbreaking. Like 98, 2009 was more heartbreaking than embarrassing. I mean, sure, you could say 2009, the interception with Favre, sure. 98, where you come in as such heavy favorites. You're hosting the NFC title game. You're bringing in the Falcons in there. And that would have been a hell of a game. 98 Broncos against the Vikings, even though John Randall might have not played in the Super Bowl because of his injury, but yeah, Drew Pearson push off. I put it on there because that's not really embarrassing, but it's still a bad loss. But a lot of older fans that were around back in the day, again, will say that 75 team was the most complete team, even above the 4 Super Bowl teams. They went 12-2. They were the 1 seed. All of that stuff. Just Super Bowl 11, you have the 32-14 loss against the Raiders. I mean, the Vikings were 4-point underdogs in that game, and they just got their doors blown. Plus, this is the 4th Super Bowl loss. So you have 4 Super Bowls in 7 years, and that's it. And you haven't been back since. And then, of course, this one, because a lot of these games happened before most of our demographic was around. But you look back in history. I'm a bit of a football history nerd. Super Bowl 4 was after beep, bop, 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 boop, Super Bowl 3. That was the Jets just shocking the world against the Colts, 14-point underdogs, coming out and beating Indianapolis. Or not Indianapolis, Baltimore. Nailed it. And this was supposed to be the NFL and the Vikings just showing the AFL and the Chiefs who's boss again. NFL, we're top dogs. Even though we're merging, we just need to get one shot before the bell that prove that we are superior. And the Vikings came in, they're 12-point favorites, and then they got smoked. Like Hank Stram coached circles around Bud Grant that day. And that was the one where he was mic'd up for NFL Films. And then he had like he hit his suit coat and he's like, just keep matriculating the ball down the field, Leonard. It's a Chinese fire drill out there. I can make that joke. I don't know if you can say that nowadays. Who really knows? But yeah, the Chiefs whooped the Vikings' ass that day. And that's rough. Even though, like we said, this is the last Super Bowl for the merger. So the Vikings are technically the 1969 reigning, defending, undisputed NFL champions. No big deal. So let's rank these things. Like we said, these are in chronological order. Well, the Lions isn't going to be a 1. Like, obviously, it stings, recency bias, prisoner of the moment, all that stuff. I'm going to say 38-7 is going to be up at the top, right? I mean, how can it not be? Home Super Bowl is on the line, and you just do not show up. That one still hurts. Let's see, Shank in the Bank, that one sucks, but that one's not going to be at 1. That's not going to be too high. I'm going to put that Chiefs one up there because I understand. Like, we can only really talk about what we've seen in our lifetime, but just looking back, that was a bad one. That was a really, really, really bad one. So we'll put that one at 2 for now. And like I said, these are embarrassment rankings, not pain rankings. So 2009, it's going to be a little bit lower. I mean, 98's up there too. 41 donut. I mean, just getting your doors blown off. I think the Vikings might have been favorites in that game, too. Well, no, they weren't because the Giants were 14-2. But, yeah, that one's up there. Just no call, no show NFC title games. 1 under Denny, 1 under Zim. That's rough. McCown, that McCown one is up there. Because not only do you lose to a horrible team with your season on the line, plus, I believe that cost the Cardinals some draft position. So I think that they missed out. No, I think they're fine. Because I think they still got Fitz. But McCown, no! Just the way that it happened, plus the Packers making the playoffs, that one sucks. 98 title game, Pearson push-up. In terms of embarrassment, it's not really that embarrassing, especially since Drew Pearson cheated. And also, the officiating at that time, they couldn't have reviewed it and called him for pass interference. So I guess even in modern times, it still would have happened if there wasn't a call on the field. And look, we don't condone hitting referees with whiskey bottles like they did at the end of that game, but next, Shank in the Bank, winless Lions. I would say 98 is more embarrassing than the 2009 game because 2009, there's a lot of shenanigans going on there. Bernard Berrien drops and fumbles, Adrian Peterson fumbles, Favre interceptions. So it's going to be up there, but that's way more painful than it is embarrassing, I would say. I would put this is going to be controversial. I will put the Lions' loss ahead of the 2009 NFC title game because, again, the winless Lions, the Lions didn't even play their best game. Dan Campbell made a myriad of mistakes of trying to give the Vikings the game away, but you just don't show up. You're down 20-6 at halftime. You let the Lions score 20 points in one quarter. And you had to come back, and then you let Jared Goff march 75 yards. And on the final play, you drop 8 in coverage. You only have 2 on the goal line. Everyone screws up assignments. You don't blitz Jared Goff, which... yeah. All right, so Shank at the bank. So everyone gives Blair Walsh a lot of crap because of the kick. Yes, he should have made it, but also he was the only Viking who scored that day. People forget that. 9. Plus, I think 2 of the kicks were over 40 yards, but yeah, that one is up there. Well, that one's more embarrassing just for the way that it ended. I mean, the Super Bowl 11, that was an ass whooping. And plus, Sammy White getting lit up by Jack Tatum, that shot that still gets shown on NFL films today. Back when the Raiders were the Raiders, man. Yeah, that was just bad. Just also that one is almost like a lifetime achievement award because that was the last of the 4 Super Bowls, so that's rough. So are we happy with this order? Yeah, I think we're pretty good. So 38-7 for me is the most embarrassing loss. Super Bowl 4, yes, respect to history, just not showing up in a Super Bowl. I mean, that was their first Super Bowl too, man. I mean, come on. 41 Donut, NFC title game, blah. Josh McCown, no. NFC title game, yeesh. Just the Gary Anderson miss, but also the way that Denny was just not aggressive enough with time on the clock. I mean, you had the greatest offense in NFL history, and you're just not losing to the Lions. That one's bad, especially since the Vikings needed that game to stay relevant in the playoff chase. 2009 NFC title game, again, more painful than embarrassing, especially to Favre. Sharp, what are you doing? Then you have Super Bowl 11. You got Shank at the back, Drew Pierce, Bischoff. So I think we're good with that list. What are your thoughts on our thoughts? Where would you rank them? What would you add to the list? What would you take away, etc.? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value. Keep Skull alive.